Ashes 2015, I cannot wait personally for that first day, the first test at Cardiff. It's going to be a cracker. I'm really looking forward to this series. Alistair Cook is a fantastic leader by example. I think if he goes out there, with a real positive attitude, scoring runs, which has been his forte over such a long career, he will take that into the fielding efforts, looking after his charges out on the ground. Michael Clarke is Australian captain. In Australia are going to be known as favourites for this test series. How does he maintain that? He's a very good tactician on the field. He uses his bowling resources very well. He's got a strong bowling attack, but I think the strength of the Australian bowling attack has been how they've been utilised. I think Trevor Bayliss, the England coach, I think the less you see or hear of him, the better. It would mean that England is just going out and playing good, positive cricket. I think there'll be more a focus on the captains and there'll be less focus on the coaches. They will be in the background as members of the support staff, supporting the captain, supporting their teams. How does Darren Lehmann keep the 17-strong Australian squad happy? He will be keeping it as simple as possible between him and the selectors, and depending on conditions, they won't be afraid to change up their side if they believe that is the best opportunity to win the game of cricket. I think the England batting lineup, by and large, is settled from the Test series against New Zealand. Had a new opening batsman in Adam Lyth, who got a century at Headingley and performed well. I can't see England making any big chopping and changing of their batting lineup going into the first and second tests. What the makeup of the Australian batting lineup is up in the air at the moment. They're going to come up against a good England bowling attack in their home conditions. I think Chris Rogers missed a couple of test matches in the West Indies with concussion. You would expect him to come back at the top of the order in place of Shaun Marsh. I think Australia will go with the experience of Shane Watson at 6. How are they going to counter the moving ball in England, the Duke cricket ball? Well, a lot of these lads have played a lot of either county cricket or have played a lot of international cricket, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. The England bowling lineup, I think the fast bowling group is quite settled. Anderson, Broad, Wood and Stokes. I can see Moeen Ali being given first crack, which is probably fair enough. He had a good season last year, particularly against India, where he got 20 odd wickets in the series. Although, personally, I think a leg spinner would be a viable option. It's going to be interesting to see how the Australian batting lineup approach the spin bowling options that England have, because they'll have part-time spin in Joe Root and Adam Lyth, and I can pretty much guarantee that Australia will look to be very positive against the slow bowling options for England. The Australian selectors and coach Darren Lehmann have got 5 wonderful bowlers, but they've only got 3 spots. They'll have Nathan Lyon as the sole spinner, and they'll have, in all likelihood, Shane Watson being the 4th seam option. It will be a horses for courses policy. They'll look at the conditions at each and every test match, and they'll decide what's the best 3 quicks for this particular surface in this particular game to win the match. For England to be very competitive in this series, they're going to need to minimise the impact of probably 2 players, I think. Steve Smith, England have got to find a way to minimise his scoring, and I think it's hard to pinpoint one bowler, but Mitchell Johnson's someone that if they can find a way to negate that and make Michael Clarke use his other bowlers for longer spells, that could be a way for England to impact in this Ashes. For Australia to get on top of England, I think you have to look at the top of the England batting order and their captain Alistair Cook. If they can have a really good impact and minimise his output as a batsman first, I think that will really set the tone and put pressure on the rest of the England batting order. And then I think when it comes to another player that Australia need to negate, if the Australian batsman can find a way to negate the swing and aggression of James Anderson, they will go a long way to posting good totals.